while, and I have actually been really busy just clearing the pot really for the polytunnel, so when it can go up basically. So the greenhouse has gone and it looks really weird at the minute, but it won't be for long. I know it won't be for long. So the plot looks really different from when you probably last saw it actually, because I have been doing quite a few jobs just here and there. Now, one of the plans I've got is to have raised beds all the way down the centre. And the reason I've chosen to do that is one of two reasons. The polytunnel where it's going to be is going to take up a lot of room, and I've lost 1 or 2 beds in the process. Now I know it's growing under cover and you haven't actually lost the space, but what I have lost is the space that's outside because of the space that it takes up. So I've lost some beds outside, which make it quite small, but I still want to make use of that growing area. So I've decided to put raised beds in there. And the second reason I've decided to put them in there is because I do actually find they keep away the slugs a little bit, because they don't like to climb up the serrated edge. And so if it works this year, then I'm going to do the whole plot like that basically. So it's just growing in raised beds. But these are the beds here, and as you can see, it's literally going to be a line. The carrots grow really well on these circular beds here. So I tend to find things like carrots do really well in these round beds here. So at the moment I've got the garlic in this one here, which is just coming up just now. There are actually some onions in here as well, but taking a look at it, the onions don't seem to be coming up. Here you've got some onion sets here. Now I know red onions, especially the sets, do tend to bolt, but they don't seem to be coming up at all, which is really strange. Some of them in this bed here are coming up, but not all of them, and it's a bit strange. It might just be it's been cold. So with the greenhouse gone, it is time to, well, put the polytunnel in. My plan today is to actually put the foundation tubes in for the polytunnel. That's my plan, and fingers crossed it goes to plan. I'm not very DIY, so putting this polytunnel up for me is going to be a bit of a challenge, I'm not going to lie. But I'm going to try and make a start today and see how I get on, because yeah, I want to do some of it if I can't do all of it. That's my intention. So we shall see, but it's a big job. Right, so first things first, let's get some tubes in.
Another rainy afternoon, I don't know what I'm to do. I just miss you more than anything. It's way too quiet in the house, I'm just wasted on the couch, 'cause I don't wanna feel anything. Wish you'd stayed here beside me. This isn't how it's supposed to be. Wish you'd stayed here right with me. I can't shake that feeling that we said goodbye too soon.
Harder than it looks. I'm not sure I've got it down too far, but yeah. Should the spirit level be in the bubble in the middle? Yeah, it's not. actually a lot harder than I was expecting. I think I've done it now though. So I think it's all square. I've measured across the middle, 4.31 centimetres. I've measured across and the length. So yeah, 10 foot by 10 foot, 4.31 metres across the middle. Obviously I'm on my own at the moment, so it's a little bit difficult, but hopefully Thursday I'll get someone to come and help me and he can just double check that it's all right. Because yeah, during this I've decided I'm probably going to need some help. I'm not that technically minded, so I've got a second person to help me, which will be good. So fingers crossed it'll go up quick. But yeah, I think I've done it. I think I've done it. Yeah, we'll see what happens, but it looks pretty square to me. But I've not done this before, so following the instructions, I think it's right. But we'll see. So the main problem I've had is when you screw these in, it seems to go skew with. So the pole isn't straight. So this is the first one I did. And as you can see, it's not straight. So then as I've gone round, I've kind of realised that actually you can just push them in the ground first and then screw them. So I think now I've got them square, it's just a case of tapping them a little bit to make sure that they are actually level. And then obviously I'll measure it, make sure, and put the middle ones in. God, this is much harder than I was expecting. I thought just twist them in. So we've hit a problem already. I never expected it to be easy, but I didn't expect to hit this problem. This is the problem I've got. So now all the 4 posts are in, which is great. There's the one there and the final one is just there, which is great because they're all level, they're all kind of loosely put in. However, the problem I've got is they don't go in far enough. So the foundation tube has to actually go up to this little knobble here, and it has to go that deep. Otherwise it's protruding too much. There's not enough foundation pole in the soil for it to hold the polytunnel down. And I can't screw it in that far because there's actually a load of stone underneath, which I didn't know. I thought this site was completely soil, so going down that far shouldn't have been a problem. However, it's not. There is stone underneath, and it does mean that the polytunnel foundation protrudes too much, which is a problem. So I'm going to have to go back to the drawing board. I'm probably going to have to go back to First Tunnels and ask them to send me some anchor plate foundation tubes instead, which is a little frustrating because it's going to put me back a little bit. But hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get them ordered by Thursday and then we can use those instead. But yeah, a bit disappointing today actually, because I don't know, I was expecting them to go further down than what they did, and they physically don't anymore. I can't even turn the pole. So yeah, hey ho. So I've hit my first polytunnel snag. It was never going to be easy, was it? But I wasn't expecting a bump in the road at the first hurdle, which is a little bit frustrating, to be honest. But it is what it is. And there's not there's not a lot I can do about it, to be honest. How annoying. But what I'm going to do is get in touch with First Tunnels. I'll just ask them to send me some of the other base plates instead, so the anchor plates and foundation tubes, and we'll just have to dig. To be honest, it was a digging I didn't want to do, but if I can't get I've just dug a hole now to see if I can get 45 centimetres down by 45 centimetres across, and I can. So that's going to be the option, because I can dig down that far. So I'm just going to put a base plate in instead, and then that should be enough to hold it down, because the screw anchors aren't going in far enough. Hey ho, hey ho. So thanks for watching. I'm sure you'll tune back in for the next instalment, and we shall see what happens from here. Take care.